um dia muito especial, conversando aqui com um cara fantástico. For the Hypr Hawaii, made these pedals here. Ele faz esses remos. É muito legal, a gente vai bater papo um pouco sobre o que está acontecendo no mundo, sobre técnica e sobre as confusões que estão acontecendo.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much to be here with me. I'm so glad. Thank you.
I'm very excited because I watch this man, but I don't speak Portuguese. I'm not as skilled as he is. He speaks English and Portuguese.
Oh my God.
So I told him, I said, look, we had lunch and we talked about a lot of ideas. It's the same arguments going on around the world.
Yes.
All day, every day, right?
Yes.
And we kind of argued a little bit, but we kind of agreed that there's certain common principles, right?
Yeah, sure. And Jan is here to talk and explain about this, about around the technique around the world, and also and this a little confused we have sometimes about this question, and also here in Brazil is a lot of confusion.
Particularly Brazil. Because Brazilian paddlers are super fit, super strong. And the question becomes, why can't we beat the Hawaiian, the Tahiti teams, right? It's not for the lack of fitness, right? Not for the lack of genetic material. There is. I think the issue is there's a little confusion about what makes sense in the proper technique. There is the Polynesian style, and I'm very familiar with it because I live in Hawaii and trained and coached there. So what I was telling Marcelo is that, and I need his help in Portuguese to explain. I said, look, everybody has a style. Yes. At club, there's about 50, 60 clubs here. And so just saying around the Tahiti, Hawaii, California, every club has a little different style. The country has a little different style. So all I care about is, I don't care what your style is, but it breaks the laws of physics. That's just a damn opinion. How do you say that in Portuguese?
It's a damn opinion. Não é falando da técnica, mas da física e da fisiologia, né? Que está querendo dizer. It's about the physiology and about the
physics of physics. We both agree now that the whole goal of moving a boat through water easier is very simple. Since the dawn of mankind, right?
Yeah.
So how do you just man lift the boat out of the water a bit and move it forward? Yes.
Yes. This is we talk about here. We try to explain. It's more simple than
we don't need 10 years to do this. We agree that to move a boat faster through the water, you always want to lift the hull, right? You have a great lift and forward momentum. So how do you create that force?
To move the boat up and forward, we need to create a down force and then a reverse force to move the boat through that, right? So this is why I know coaches will tell people, hey, you know what? You want to have a 45-degree entry, right? And then drive it down and move it, right? Now, you see people do that, and then a little variations of it. That is the big stroke that we coach. And then that's why they call this super reach, where you push with the top hand and pull your bottom hand, right? Both of them are workable. Yes, they both work. The boat will still move. The question we have is like, which one will, because let's talk about racing. What is racing?
Race, estamos falando da corrida, né? Das competições e das competições.
What is racing? Racing means we are trying to move the boat as fast as possible with the least amount of energy at the lowest heart rate. The ones that achieve that will win the race.
This is the magic.
That's the point. You break the magic down. That's what we're trying to achieve, right? So your philosophy of how you're going to execute these three things is very important.
Yeah, let's see. Let's understand this to this point.
Right. So your philosophy, how you attack this, has to be really good, right? You have to, first of all, respect the laws of physics and respect the laws of physiology. Because if you don't have this philosophy and not know how to manage the other two, you're just going to burn out.
Yeah,
What
sure.
most crews do, right?
Yeah.
Because you basically focus on the physicality of the race, right?
Yeah.
And you almost don't care, because most people think, you know, if you just put in the effort.
Too much effort.
Yeah, right? Too much, because you don't get a gold medal for effort.
Yeah, you don't need to fight
Yes.
like this. Huh?
Yes, especially water sports requires soft power.
Soft power.
Soft power.
Super interesting. Soft power is you have a power, but you don't need to be effort too
Yeah.
much to be hurt.
Yeah, it's not hard. In fact, the harder you hit it, the
Uh-huh.
worse you do.
Sure.
Yeah? And I always use swimming as a simple example.
Yes.
A drowning man.
Without technique, it's just
he's just trying to not die.
Yeah.
You'll definitely die doing this.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's how people drown,
Yeah.
right? Because they hit onto a trying to struggle. They don't skull and try and swim.
Feel in the water.
Yeah, swimming. And there's no better explanation when we talk. Oh, I died in a race.
Yes. It's this conversation is super interesting because you live in Hawaii for many years.
25.
25 years. You live in Kona.
Yeah.
And you know the Hawaii style, you know fermentation style. You can show the Brazilian the audience here
Yes.
together in the channel, the Sempre, and also explain a little bit about that.
Well, what I noticed in Brazil particularly is there's a concept because everybody around the world, not just Brazil,
Not just Brazil,
not
but
Brazil,
around
okay, around the world. It's not a Brazil thing only. It's just like a lot of coaches talk about, I want more reach. Everybody wants a longer stroke,
Yeah.
right? So most coaches interpret and maybe misinterpret by the students themselves when they they make a triangle, but they say, you know what? More is better, yeah?
Yeah.
Everybody is more,
Yeah, more is better.
More is better. So we'll do more. Yes?
What
Look
about
at the
the
angle of the blade, right?
Yeah.
Most people, I'm reaching more, right? So now, what can your top hand do? You cannot paddle like this. Because if you're trying to create the downforce the downforce
Yeah.
to move the boat forward, how are you going to create downforce to lift the boat? You can't.
with
This
this.
is too flat.
Yeah.
This is too flat, right?
You need to
so
go-
by the time you drive people do this, the only place your top hand can go is forward. You cannot do this,
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
right?
It's
It's even worse.
too much.
So your only option is to push with your top hand forward.
Yeah.
And this, I would say, 90% of Brazilian paddlers are paddling like this, right? Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, but look at the biomechanics of the human body, right? Marcelo, here, you push your top hand forward like this. Look at this. Look at this beautiful muscle. But the muscle he's using is a tricep. Yeah? You can't get, yeah? So, as strong as his tricep is, it's still small. So, because your top hand is connected to the shaft, so if you're pushing your tricep, you have to push your bicep.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're pulling your bicep, right? And the person, but I'm getting reach.
Yes.
Yes? Reach with no power is useless.
And also you use a small muscle.
Small muscles.
This
yeah.
is a big problem, I think.
And you know how you die fast?
You use it. And you die in 5 km, and that's it.
And so it's not Tahitian style, it's not
Hawaii
it's not red, it's physiology, right?
physiology.
Yeah? If you use small muscles, do any sport.
And now you need to use.
Your big muscles. So, if you think of how the human body is your upper body, because really, paddling is a 50% legs. But let's at least talk about upper body first. Your biggest muscle is your back muscle, is your lat. This one, right?
Yeah. The bigger muscle.
It's
Dorsal.
connected to these two.
Two bigger.
Right? This is connected to your butt, your hamstrings, to your legs.
Yeah.
So your body works together in one piece. What I see happening in Brazil ballet is just this.
And like this is small muscles.
It's small, and also even when you do the rotation, it's a planar rotation. It's in a single planar. Right? There's no lifting.
Yes.
Right?
You need to be forward a little bit.
Right. You
Because you do a rotation, you move a little.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you cannot move the boat in a what I call doing this. Right? You can move the boat, but you're not lifting the boat.
Lifting.
Yeah.
And
So-
how you lift the
Well, the only way to lift the boat is when you have the back. The lift happens in your stroke, and then, everybody agrees they want to enter at 45 degrees. Maybe not that far,
No.
but everybody, the good, until 45, and by the time it goes to 90, because you're driving it down, when it hits 90, your lift is done. Yes.
Lift is done.
Yeah,
sure.
Because from now on, you basically say, look, how do you move the boat as much power forward as possible? You have to keep the vertical face moving on as long as possible in the stroke to move the boat powerfully, as long as possible. Right?
Now I understand you when you catch water, you deep a little bit a while until the 9 degree.
Yeah.
And that's the point to lift the boat.
Yeah. No, for lift and forward. Once
Forward.
you're here,
When you stop
hit
here,
90,
your lift is
it's
done.
done. Your power phase is done.
Yeah.
What's happening in Brazil, and the one you said in Portuguese, is they start, they come enter here, and then they start the power phase and jump it back.
Yeah, ele tá falando que a gente tá agora fazendo a força do meio pro fim, e a gente tá esquecendo a parte que levanta a canoa para ir para frente, entende?
And you still can move the boat, right? You can still move the boat like that.
Você continua movendo o boto, a canoa, só que tá faltando a parte de levantar ela para manter ela mais rápida, né?
But understand what you're doing from a physics point of view. This is not opinion. When you chunk this thing back like that, lifting water, the whole bucket of water,
Yeah.
right? What do you do in the boat? You're sinking the boat.
Your vocal
Right? You
goes
lift
down.
weight, you sink the boat. You drive weight down, you lift the boat.
Yeah,
So
all the
now
time.
you're sinking the boat, right?
Yeah.
And we're sinking the boat, Chairman, you're stopping the boat.
Yes.
So you need ever increasing amounts of energy to go faster. It's what we call negative feedback loop.
Negative feedback loop.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
A negative spiral, right? It gets worse and worse and worse.
you expend energy all the time.
Yes.
You spend a lot of energy, because that finish your stroke
Yes.
and put water up, and also you move the boat
Down.
the canoe
And
down,
to keep the boat moving faster, you put more and more energy, you sink more and more.
and then
So-
you expend this energy, and then you die.
It gets worse and worse and worse, right? What you want in most organic systems to be successful is a positive feedback loop, right? You go faster and faster with less and less energy.
And that's the point to talk about the heart rate.
Yeah, heart rate. You want to use less energy.
Less energy.
Because in racing, if you have a positive feedback loop, right, you're getting more speed and distance with less energy. That's the winning team. And that's all this what winning is.
Yes.
How to get to a positive feedback loop and kill the negative feedback loop. So I'm not criticizing anybody as we talk about.
Yeah, just talking. Just
Yeah?
talk about that.
It's not racial, it's not cultural, it's not geographic. Me and Marcelo, I mean, he's better looking, but we still got 2 arms, 2 legs.
Yes,
right?
it's the same.
And our proportions are about the same,
Yeah.
right? It's not like 50% more. So whatever we do around the world, that does not change. What does not also change is the physics, right?
Physics does not.
Just don't change. Whether I do in Brazil and in Hawaii, gravity, water resistance, wind, same thing.
Yeah.
So that means you still have to respect the laws of physics in Brazil.
Yes.
There's no exception.
Yes.
Just because you speak Portuguese don't mean you get passed.
Yes. And what do you think about you told yesterday in the lunch, it was very nice time together. And you talk about the Molokai Hoi in the earliest, in the years, Super 19, in the difference of the race, the Hawaiian, Tahitian. How can I explain that for this audience? Because here in Brazil we have a canoe started in 2000, and then we don't know about the 90s.
I think what you were trying to ask me was that, you know, the Molokai Hawaii is a long distance race, right?
Yes.
At least 5.5 hours.
Yes.
Right? And you know, sometimes you say, oh yeah, I went and paddle for 5 hours because, you know, I want to train as long as the race to see how much I can endure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How long can I suffer
Yes.
for, right? About how much punishments I can take. And this is where the philosophy comes in. Most training philosophies is about how long and how can I punish myself to do better. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Maybe it comes from parental guilt.
Oh.
You know, Marcelo, you want to be good? You have to work harder, right?
Yeah, it's like no pain, no gain, doesn't exist.
Well, and suffer as long as possible.
Yeah.
This is where the philosophy is. It's true. I went
Before that,
yes.
that's
You know,
philosophy.
in
It's
the
not
80s, in the 80s, I was a swimmer. We were training 6-7 hours a day in university. It was crazy.
Crazy.
You break down, you still have to go to school. I mean, it is, you just get sick and injured,
Yes.
right? And I tell people for paddlers, especially masters, we cannot sustain that. You
Yeah.
know, job, family, life, it's
Children,
impossible.
child
Right?
and that.
So back to the Molokai race. So how can you train that much, right? You must be rich and don't have a job.
Yeah, just training.
Just training. Oh yes, that's what a professional is.
Yeah, just professional.
Right. So that's why I thought about say when you look at professionals, yeah, they can afford to train all day, right? Because that is their job. My job is building stuff. Your job is working for different things. So paddling is not our job. Paddling we do for fun.
For fun. This is a super interesting thing.
Yeah.
Paddle for fun in the first moment.
Yes.
All the
most
time.
important.
Most
Yes.
important thing.
If you're not having fun, you're probably not going to do well. Because now it becomes work.
Yeah, and I saw now I put some hot in this conversation. Yeah, a lot of paddlers here in Brazil don't have more fun to paddle. That's the problem, I think, because the group don't know about the competition, the tournament, and everything. This is become a big problem right now.
I'm saying Portuguese.
Ele tá ficando um grande problema aqui porque a gente não tá mais se divertindo e a gente está começando a competir demais e perder a vontade de remar. What do you think about this? You know, what do you think about that? How can I fix this? And
So
it's a little bit.
I use the Molokai channel race as an example of what the misconception is, right?
Yeah.
So you think that if you race is 5.5 hours, that's why I use the Molokai Hoi as a very simple way to explain what I call doing parallel things. Because most people think, well, if the race is 2 hours, I train 2 hours. 3 hours, I train 3 hours, 4 hours. But as far as we're concerned, the way we done Molokai, that everyone of our master's group that we raised in between 2012 and 2019, you know, we won the Masters 40s and 50s, just about 7 out of 8 years. One year we came in second. That was a mistake for flipping the boat. But most people who see us win, they assume we train a lot. Right?
Yeah.
And then the joke is, we basically train, you know, each of our sessions are no more than 9 minutes.
9
Ever.
Listen, the training for the Molokai Hoi, no more than 9 minutes. 90.
People thought we were doing like hours a day, you know, 5 times a week. Me and my crew, you know, we basically did 3 sessions a week. No more 3 sessions the whole week. In preparation,
yes.
maybe 2-3 months beforehand, we were doing 3 sessions a week, no more than 90 minutes. Most of the time it was only an hour.
Yeah.
High intensity practices, perfect technique, right? And then in between those days, you get on the OC1
To refresh.
train on your own, to
Yes.
do something different.
Yeah.
So if you train really like paddle, maybe 4 or 5 days a week maximum.
Yeah.
Here I find people always paddle every day.
Every day, no stop, without.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Recovery, even when you're young, is part of training.
Yeah, recovery is part
It's
of
very
training, for
part
sure.
of training, you know. So and then the way I explain it to people is like, because in actual fact, every race, whether it's a change race or the Molokai where you change crew,
Yeah.
and you know whether it's Samu or
Who is the best? The
I
best of
remember
the
racing with them. You know, when they were younger, we used to beat them, and as they got better, we no can beat them anymore. So from 2010 to 2016, Masters, we were able to beat the Open guys. Then they got better, and now we couldn't take them down anymore.
Yeah.
It's because we got older,
Yes.
and they got smarter.
Yeah, for sure. And can I talk about we are flowing about
Free fall.
this conversation about the rhythms. Yeah, the rhythm.
Oh, really?
Rhythm.
Yeah,
rhythm.
okay.
Rhythm to the training, rhythm for the Kai, for the race, for everything. What do you think about that?
So the only unifying principle in all the sessions is that it was always perfect technique.
Perfect technique.
Perfect technique. And how does a crew win, right? People talk about, oh, the crew has to paddle as one.
The crew as one.
One, right? We talk about that. And although a lot of crews from the top up, and most elite crews usually by the time they are within like top 10, right? They all look pretty good. They all look the same.
Yeah.
You can look the same above the waist, right? What the difference is, sometimes you can have the exact stroke shape, stroke length, right? But you still have a little bit inconsistency in the boat, right? Because one or two of the members are not in sync. And what does that mean in sync, right? Most people think it's in synchronous.
Synchronous.
Right?
Yeah.
But what most people think of is just timing,
Tiny.
right? Yeah. Are you keeping time? Are you rushing your stroker? Or are you too late?
Yeah.
Right? The crew all have time. But most of these guys already have good timing. They all look perfect. The coach will watch them. I mean, you watch Shell and all the other times, they have perfect timing.
Yes.
Everybody's moving together.
Yeah.
Right? But what makes them special is that their power phase is also in sync.
Power and sync.
Yeah.
But sometimes one is more power than the other one.
No,
Inside the
that,
middle.
no, that is good and it's bad. But what is more, what affects the flow of the boat, the rhythm of the boat, is the power phase is different. In other words, look at your stroke, right? Lift forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if not everybody is putting the power phase in the right place.
Yeah, that's the
Now you have the boat will feel like the builder. Who's doing that? But the coach will look from the boat, really, they're in time. But the stroker can feel this
a little bit of that.
like this. So this thing goes on for a few hours, you're gonna die. You're gonna get brain damage because somebody in the boat is putting the power in late. Because let's say 4 guys all catch up front. Because you see, this is why what Brazilians are doing, putting the power late, dumps the boat down.
Yeah.
It actually stops the boat, right?
Actually,
So,
stop the boat.
stops the boat. Because what you're doing when you put the power back is basically you're pushing the nose down. Right?
Wow. Now is a really confused in Brazil about that because Brazil now use the power in the middle for the end,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit.
Okay.
It's okay. You can
I
move
mean,
the boat.
You still move the boat.
You
I'm
still
just
move the
saying
boat.
that it's not wrong. It's just very wasteful of energy.
Wasteful
right?
of energy.
Wasteful of energy, right? Like you say in Portuguese, what I'm talking about.
Está
It's
perdendo
not wrong.
energia. E não é errado, não é errado. Como eu sempre falo no canal, vocês estão acompanhando, não tem certo e errado, mas está perdendo. Você está perdendo energia. Está perdendo energia, né? E não é errado ou certo, né? só você tá perdendo energia, né? É isso que nós estamos falando.
So in Molokai, if your team was doing that and my team was not, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour race.
Yes.
You're gonna die first because to keep, let's say you're dogfighting the whole time, and it happens in Molokai.
Yeah.
You know, when you are basically going neck to neck, two teams are just as good fighting.
Yes.
Well, if you're doing this, you're wasting a lot of energy, you're gonna die first.
For sure. You talk about one point I love it now, because you need to put the power in the same time and all the
Yes.
pedals in the same moment. Why? Is when you're feeling the boat like a little bit, because it's strange
It's
about
not timing.
It's the
It's
power.
It's where your power faces. So if Brazil's strategy is to put power at the back, then everybody will put power in the back.
Yes. Crazy. Oh my
Right?
God, man. This
Right?
conversation
So it
is
takes
amazing.
one guy to, mess it all up, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the philosophy. That's why I keep talking about philosophy. If the team philosophy is we agree to do a power in the back, then everybody will do power as a whole country, right? But I'm just saying, from an observer's point of view, this is doing more work than you need to win.
Você trabalha mais do que você precisa trabalhar para fazer a canoa andar. That's it.
Yeah, and then please keep saying, because this is fighting the laws of physics of how to move a boat through the water, any boat, right? When you do this power in the back, everybody doing this whole throwing the weight forward and down, you're pushing the nose down. You're doing the boat like this, like this. It's plowing. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, a plow takes a lot of energy.
Wow. Oh my God, this conversation is so nice, man.
Right?
I love it.
Yes.
I love that
You-
because you bring the things to your mind, to reflections.
I mean, I don't need you to believe what I'm saying, but if you sit down and think about it, God is eating full of shit.
Oh my God.
Right? You have to not trust anything I'm saying. Right? No, right?
Yeah.
You go try it yourself. My philosophy is to question authority. I'm a rebel.
Yeah. And
You have to.
I like to listen. Because you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience and a lot of view.
Different
The
areas.
point, the different guys, is the point of view for is like me. I like to see all around more bigger than just canoe. You know,
Yes.
just the biomechanics, physiology, and everything.
And I do want to keep talking about this in Portuguese because we can translate the English, right? Because I'll say it in English. Right?
Yes.
So you have to say it in Portuguese because it's so important for Brazil to understand. If you don't agree with the laws of physics, you will keep digging the hole. Because you're digging deeper.
Yes, a gente está falando que precisamos estar dentro da canoa, precisamos treinar na canoa, mas tem uma amplitude de visão muito maior do que a canoa, da biomecânica, de entender como funciona para poder a canoa andar. É isso que a gente está falando, que a gente deu um match, a gente pensa na mesma linha. Né?
Look at sailboats. Look at sailboats.
Sailboats, yeah.
Right? These days, the America's Cup sailboats, the entire house out of water. Yes?
Yes.
Now they achieve speeds of, 70, 80 kilometers an hour. No sailboat ever used to do that. Why? Because the entire hull is out of the water. They're on a foil.
The foil, yes. The foil.
One day, I'm working on a foil organ. Oh yeah. Because back to us, I was working on a foil kayak. A single one-man foil kayak. It's on YouTube. Look up foil kayak. One guy can lead 6 guys in a kayak. There's no better test of physics of lifting the hull out of the water than that. Right? Like in 2000, there was a team in Norway. One guy with 2 foils doing kayak versus world record 6 K16. The one guy did the 16.
Whoa, God.
Let me tell you, Marcelo, there will be people who doubt what we're talking about, right? The discussions we have is open, honest.
Yes.
And I always tell you, don't believe what I'm saying, go test yourself. Look at That's why I say we need to have world view of what paddling is, right? For us to move the boat faster, I'm not even talking about paddling, I'm talking about physics now.
Physics.
Right?
And is the most, I like you because you use a lot of things to example. It's not just in canoes.
Tell your Portuguese.
Estou falando que ele tem uma visão bastante como a minha, que usa vários ambientes fora da canoa para trazer experiências para dentro da canoa. You use all the experience outside the canoe to bring inside the canoe. This is so interesting.
It's like you have to be awake, right? You have to be a thinking athlete and not just swallow everything that's shoved in front of you. Some is good, some is bad.
Yeah.
Right? You have to, we talk about discretion.
Uh-huh.
You have to have the knowledge to know this is good, no, this is not crap, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be your own best coach,
Yes.
right? Yeah, the coach cannot do the thinking for you, right? Most coaching, unfortunately, is don't question what I'm telling you, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Most coaching programs are like that.
Yeah.
Don't question your coach. Who are you? Right? What do you know? I have the title coach. Don't question what I'm saying. I have been lucky, I have very good coaches in everything I've done. Swimming coach, paddling coaches. But that also made me question that makes sense. And it did make sense, so I follow it.
And sometimes I think about the respect the individuality for the people, for the individuality, someone have your own individuality, and you have more. It's a good coach for my mind. Look at these guys and take everything, but super good for this guy. That's the way.
Well, you're talking about, and I want you to say this in translate in Portuguese for me. There's stubbornness. Go back to philosophy again. You can have a stubborn student, and you can have an inquisitive student. Mm-hmm. Someone is curious.
So
as a coach, the reaction sometimes sounds the same.
Yes.
It's not.
Yes.
They come from different places. A good coach can identify the difference. What I call stubborn stupid.
Yeah.
Or stubborn smart.
And the most important thing the good leader, the good coach, takes the best for each one.
Yes,
that's
know how to explain it to the point where they understand why. The key word is why. You see, too much coaching authoritarian regimes, and I don't mean coaching, I mean in cultures where just do it. Don't ask me why, right? Just do it. Because why? Oh, that's how I was taught. Why? Because that's how he was taught, and on and on and on and on. Oh, that's tradition.
Oh my God! Hey, let's talk about
Portuguese, right? Right. So just because it's tradition, it doesn't mean it's not. You shouldn't be open to new ideas that might improve it.
A gente tem que sempre melhorar, trazer novas ideias para fazer com que a coisa evolua, né? I think it's Hawaiian mentality is more close than Tahitian mentality.
No, it's close. It's more like because the culture is Asian tradition.
Asian.
Yeah, you never question your elders.
Yeah.
It's a very Western idea to question your elders. Yes, this is very typical in traditional cultures. So most people don't. But what I'm saying is, if you question it, you got to question it for yourself and see. Does this make sense, right? And we're not kids anymore, right?
Yeah.
Now, I agree, a 12-year-old might not know enough to understand this, right? But as adults, we're all adults, pal. You should have the presence of mind.
Yes.
To know what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
Right? Based on not who the person said it, is what he says or she says.
Yes.
Right? It has to hold what it says to respect the laws of physics or physiology and training.
To explain my students to do 10 push-ups.
Yes.
But now it's not 10. 10, if you do 10, you can go in my race with my team.
but it's not 10, it's 20. Hold on, explain that just to...
Okay. I don't like to tell people to 10 because most people cannot do 20 pull-ups perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say try 10 first. But if you want to get on a winning team, you better do 20.
You better do 20.
Why? And I tell you why. If you think about what
You have one video.
yes, I told you about it. It's like if you have a sheet of glass here, most people do, again, this is like paddle, right? Most people paddle, learn to do a pull-up, they squeeze their arm first, and they do this.
And don't use a big
They just use their arms. There's no more left to it. This is pull. So you cannot do a lot of reps.
Yes, for sure.
Because small muscles to lift all the body weight is overloading the small muscles because of your entire body.
Yes, for sure.
So if you want to do more reps, you have to use big muscles because now your weight, the muscles that create weight, is what keeping the work. And then the hands, I usually have a little what I call light grip, which is why when I talk about paddling, squeezing the sharp harder will make you go faster.
Maybe
Not maybe for sure, right? Strangling the chicken will not make them go faster.
Yes. Oh my God.
So same with pull-up, right? You have to like to squeeze your big muscles, get up there, and you realize, I mean, now you can do more work without cramping up.
Yes,
Right?
for sure.
So for me, it's like 20 reps.
20 reps is
Right? You
good.
do it right, it's about 26.
Yes.
Right? And if you think about it, most human beings, back
Back to
right? You can sprint using both. You can sprint 100 meters, 200 meters, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, sub 20 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Swimming, 15 meters sprint, when you don't breathe, you just go across the pool, 19 point something seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Every sport, a human being can sprint anaerobically, truly maximum about 20 seconds. So you do about 20 reps. It's a little longer than 20 seconds. If you can do that perfectly,
Yes.
then this is pretty fit.
Yeah, we talked about their legs and you pass fast, but I remember right now because all the time I used to do my classroom canoe to my team, my students, and I now hey guys, let's use your legs to move the boat.
I said that please, come on.
Usa sua perna para trabalhar a transferência de força para poder fazer a perna andar. E as pessoas não usam. People don't use it. And when I talk in the community, hey, let's go use the legs. And they both do like, you feel it. How much you talk about the 50% of your legs? I'm thinking about the last of this, but you feel it's super important. That's the point. I want to hear this.
Well, one thing I do know that if you look at back to Olympics, Brazil has got a really good C1 canoe paddle. You know C1? When you go down? Not C1. C1, right?
C1. Yeah.
And you watch their body movement. They're really good. Knees are killing. They basically have a knee pad and they're boom. They're not sitting down, they're kneeling, right?
Yeah.
So every stroke they catch, they kick the canoe forward from the leg. Start from the leg. Yeah, the front leg, right? Yeah. So there's this catch and whoa! You see those big strokes they do, right? Right?
Yeah.
Brazil got silver medal, bronze medal.
Yes. This is the best one. Why you don't use this?
Why don't use this? We're not using the canoe, right? Sure, right? So Brazilians already top Brazilian canoe paddles already good. Why is selling go to our league? Forget about that. Because why? Because it's the whole body work. Right? So in the canoe, most people sit, they sit too far back from the chair. When I sit on my canoe, I'm basically doing my knee down, and I'm basically sitting, my butt is on the edge of the seat like this. Right? I'm not really sitting down on the seat. I'm barely touching, like if this is the seat, I'm sitting right here. and I'm on edge. I'm not sitting back like this. Right? So the minute you doing basically like a lunge, right? Yeah. So the minute I reach, I'm already in. The minute I reach, see the way forward, I've already engaged my leg. Right? So now when I catch, I'm just shoving my hip forward.
Yes.
Right? So now that's why the boat jumps. Right? So that's why you do the same one. Right? I see one basically you do this. So you do this. I'm barely sitting on the seat.
Yes.
I'm using my whole body. But most people think about paddling is, oh, no, kick it. Don't kick it. Now you've lost your rhythm.
Yes, all the time you do it.
You just made it worse because when you talk about crew training, not only the crew is one, you are one with the canoe.
Yes.
In other words, you're glued to the canoe, right?
Yeah.
Right? There's you're like Velcro in, right?
Continue this part. When you have a travel, the power of travel of your body here, you transfer this for your legs.
Yes.
Eu falo muito sobre a transferência de energia do triângulo de força para a canoa e ele passa através das pernas. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So you're asking me how you connect the whole body. And that's why I said the simple path is if you watch back to the C1, right? Yeah. Your legs are engaged right away because if you think about it, search kayakers are doing the same thing, right? When you use this all lat work, your core work, all the power in your lat, right, is needed to transfer to move the boat, right? The legs are the ones that also are engaged. This is where the hip comes in. The hip connect the upper body core to your legs.
Yes.
Yeah? So if that's why I try to simplify the explanation is that if you think about it, if it's just pushing your hip, you do it naturally.
Pushing.
There are a lot of actions we do as human beings of pushing the hip.
Oh my God, this conversation is amazing. Thank you, man.
Right? You don't have to teach men.
Oh my God. Thank you for this. Now I have a friend, a bigger one here from Hawaii. Thank you so much. And you can now to finish this conversation. What do you want to share with the Brazilian and the world people to paddle here in this channel? What is the most important thing to people know?
Paddle bigger than you really are.
Wow.
Paddle bigger than you really are. If you're 5'6", paddle like you're 6'4".
Reme muito mais do que você é, né?
You cannot paddle bigger if you're doing this.
Reme grande mais do que você é, né? Yeah, mais do que você é.
Well, again, back to C1. Remember C1? It's big. Brazil is good at this.
Yeah.
Why do you do this? Right? Why would you get doing that? That's how they do. That doesn't. To me, it makes no sense. Right? So that's all I'm trying to say. Brazil, paddle big.
Yes. Nice. Ok. Obrigado, galera, pela audiência, paciência aqui para conversar e entender as reflexões que a gente tem aqui para poder abrir um pouco a conversação e a mente aí da galera. Valeu? Tá. Thank you, man.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.